Hello, everyone. So sorry. Technical difficulties driving me crazy tonight, but we're here. We've got it. Whew, whew. Hope everybody had a good week. I'm going to give everybody a minute to find us again, and then we'll get started. And we'll see if I can find me so I can see all your comments. Which, let's see, I've been having to do it this way. Let's go in here. Okay, sound is off. There we go. Okay. Hello, hello. All right. So, first off, we're going to be using the Potions and Spells bundle. This bundle is an online exclusive. And I forgot to check to make sure it's in stock. So let me look real quick. Oh, I can't look that way. Let's see. Yes, in stock, still good to go. All right. So there we go. Because it's an online exclusive, we have to keep checking because these are while supplies last. And while we're talking about that, free shipping for one day only, Stampin' Up! Announced yesterday. This will begin on September 18th. It begins at midnight, 12:01 a.m. Mountain Time, which for us here in the Pacific Northwest is 11 p.m. tonight. So this free shipping runs from 12:01 a.m. Mountain Time to 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time in the Pacific time zone. That is 11:01 p.m. tonight to 10:59 p.m. tomorrow, the 18th. Okay, so you have to place an order of $75 or more. Or if you are placing an order in a workshop, the workshop total has to be $75 or more. So that could mean that 2 or 3 people get together and split that $75 and you'll still get the free shipping. So be sure to check with me if you'd like to do the workshop type thing and you have less than $75 to spend. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, let's go ahead and get started because I'm a couple of minutes late because of technology. It's okay. We've got that figured out for the moment. For some reason, my internet was freaking out and not working. And then my camera didn't want to work either. So let's get going. We're going to start with a 3D project. And let's bring that in. So we're going to start by making the box. All right. So here is our template. I've got a piece of basic gray here. This is 7 inches by 4 3/4. And we're going to pull out the Simply Scored tool. And we're going to put that in our tool. And we're going to put it in at the 7-inch side. And we're going to score it at 1 1/8, 3 1/4, 4 3/8, and 6 1/2. Okay, so again, that's 1 1/8, which is 1 mark past the 1 on the Simply Scored, 3 1/4 right here, 4 3/8, so that's 1, 2, 3 eighths right here, and then 6 1/2. Okay, we're going to rotate that and we're going to score on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1 1/8, 2 7/8, and 4 inches. Okay, so again, 1 1/8, 2 7/8, and 4 inches. And that is all of our scoring. So let's go ahead and put our tool away. Now you could score that on your Stampin' Trimmer too, but I prefer using the, sorry, I bumped that camera, using the Simply Scored tool. You just get a nicer score and your measurements are more accurate. Okay, so let's go ahead and burnish on all of those score lines. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for watching and commenting. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so now that we've got all of those scored and burnished, let's bring back in our template. Okay, so this skinny rectangle on the long 7-inch side, this is our glue tab, and this wider piece is the tab itself. So I like to turn mine over to the back side, and this is the tab that I want to be my glue tab. So I'm going to angle cut toward the first score line here, and then I'm going to go down on this large rectangle and remove that piece. Okay, so I'm taking off that whole corner. Now on this side, this is the piece I want to be my glue tab again, so I'm going to angle toward the left, and then I'm going to turn it and go up and remove both of those rectangular sections until I meet that cut and remove those two pieces. Okay, so far so good. Now, this is the bottom of our box. This is going to be the top of our box. So I'm going to take and cut up on the large rectangles. Okay, and I'm going to do that in the 3 spots there. And then I'm going to fold these in, the large rectangles in. I'm going to trim a bit of this off just so those don't stack on top of each other and provide bulk when they fold in. And then we're going to go ahead and angle cut those on the left and the right and remove those score lines. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, so this is what we have so far compared to our template. We're getting there. Okay, so now as you can see, we need to remove this section, and these 2 sections. So I'm going to start by cutting up the second score line right at this tab, and I'm going to cut to this portion. I'm cutting off that score line. Okay, so I'm cutting to the right of the score line there, and then I'm going to cut to the left of the score line here to remove the whole score line and take out that 2-piece section. All right, then again I'm going to cut up on the rectangle, on the large rectangle, to the second score line, and I'm going to do the same thing over here on the large rectangle. Okay, I'm going to fold that in, and then again I want to cut off some bulk here, so I'm just going to give this a quick trim here and here and remove those, and then I'm going to angle cut left and right, making sure that I don't have any score line left. Right and left, and when I get done, now I look pretty close to my template. Okay, so let's go ahead now. This is going to be our tuck tab, so I'm going to round those corners with a corner rounder, and you can use any corner rounder that you have on hand. I'm using an old retired Project Life by Stampin' Up. And then we need to put in a finger tab here. Okay, so we are going to take this is a 3/4 inch punch, but you could use whatever you have on hand. And I'm just going to put a little finger notch in there. That just makes the box easier to open and close. Okay, so you with me so far? Hello, Laura. Now we're going to take some tear and tape, and I'm going to turn this over. This is the outside of my box. And on this glue tab on the side here, I'm going to put some tear and tape as close to the score line without going over. Okay, then I'm going to flip this over. And on the section that has all the pieces still there, we're going to put another piece of tear and tape. And then I'm just going to throw a piece of tear and tape here on this glue tab for the bottom and this one. Okay, now let's go ahead and burnish our tape with our bone folder. That ensures that our tear and tape is totally secure to our cardstock. And then we're going to remove that wax paper backing, and I'm going to fold in on the second from the left score line and the first from the right. I'm going to meet that up. I'm just going to make sure that those score lines on the top and the bottom match. And again, I'm going to give that a burnish. And then I'm going to fold these in. I'm going to tuck my tab, and then I'm going to go to the bottom. Now, this is the front of our box. These are the sides, and this is the back. So I'm going to remove all the tear tape. All that backing, not the tear tape itself. The wax paper backing. Okay, now I'm going to take the back of the box and fold it in, and you'll know it's the back of the box because it has this tab here. And then I'm going to fold in the sides, and then I'm going to fold the front over, taking my time to make sure that my bottom is square. And then I'll open that back up, take my bone folder and put it in. Okay, now what I have done by putting my sides in, sandwiching them between the front and the back, is I've given myself stability, and I have a nice clean inside and a nice clean outside. Okay, so let's get rid of all of our pieces here, and let's move on to decorating our box. Before we do that, let's go ahead and let's talk about what fits in this box. Okay, so I've got some Harry Potter Hershey's Kisses. I've got 7 of them, and these should all fit in here. Okay, so there we go. 7 Hershey's Kisses will fit in here. You can fit 2 fun-sized candy bars. I have Snickers in another one. I'll show you that. This is the box that I did in black. Okay, and it's got 2 fun-sized Snickers in it. Just lay them down. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of other things that you can fit in there, but this is all I've tried for the moment. So we're going to set this aside and finish with our decorations. Okay, so to decorate this box, we're going to start with, got these 2 pieces of basic gray cardstock. We're going to do a little bit of embossing. So we've got to pull, let's see, I need the black. We're going to emboss with black. So we're going to use our embossing buddy from our Embossing Additions Toolkit, and I'm just going to put that down and take off any static. And then I'm going to take my Versamark ink, and I'm going to take the Cauldron from Potions and Spells, and I'm going to ink that up with the Versamark. And then we're going to put that down. Okay, and I'm going to make sure I walk my fingers around until I get all of it. Okay, I'm going to take our Wow Black Embossing Powder and pour that on our little image here and drop that into the Embossings Toolkit. Okay, and then we're going to set this aside. Okay, get that clear out of my way so I can't knock it over. And I've got just a few strays here, so I'm going to take my brush. This also comes with the embossing toolkit. I'm just going to brush that off. And then I'm going to take my heat tool and heat it up for a second. And then we're going to heat emboss that. I like to emboss from the back. Hang on. That's getting hot. I'm going to bring out my reverse tweezers, which also come from the Embossing Additions Toolkit, to hang on to that so I don't burn myself. And then I'm just going to heat that up until I see it turn shiny. And then I'm done. You can overheat your embossing powder and then it will burn and look dull. Okay, so this is now ready to go. Let's see what else. Let's go ahead and get some more stamping done. Let's set that aside for a moment. Let's pull in some white cardstock. Okay, and we are going to stamp the raven and the cat. And we're going to do that in Memento. Okay, so we need these. Let's see. And then we need to stamp our sentiment. I'm going to stamp that on a 1/2 inch strip of white. But before I do that, I'm going to bring in the Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. And I'm going to put that into the channel for the 1/2 inch. Make sure that's all the way through. It's a good thing I looked because it wasn't in all the way. Make sure that's all the way to the end. And then I'll give that a little punch. Okay. We're done with that. So now let's take the Granny Apple Green ink and let's stamp our sentiment. So we've got a little hocus pocus here, and I'm going to stamp a little bit away from the end here because I want to put a potions bottle there. So I'm just going to stamp this right here like so. And then that is all of the stamping that we need to do. Okay, so we've got that. Let's set that aside. Get these out of the way. And to color this, we're going to take some Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to take some Night of Navy. Here's my Stampin' Blends that we're using. See if we can get those into the picture. Okay, so I'm going to color my raven in Night of Navy, dark and light. So I'm just going to take and throw in some dark here on some of the artist lines. Just scribbling it on. And then I'm going to take my light Night of Navy. I'm going to dab right here around the eye. So I don't want to get that in the eye. And then I'm just going to fill in the rest of his body. Okay. So we've got that. Okay, now if you would like some darker shades, just go back and add a little bit more in. And then blend that out again. Okay. And I'm happy with that. Then we're going to finish him up with light gray granite. Put just a little bit here on his beak and his feet. Okay. And now he's finished. We'll put just a tiny bit of little petal pink right there on his little tongue. And for our cat, we're going to put in some Granny Apple Green for the eyes. Again, some light petal pink for his nose. And then I'm going to use the light basic black and the dark smoky slate. And I'm going to again go along here with the artist lines a little bit. And just do that. I'm going to put a little bit here where there would be a shadow for the leg behind there. Okay. And then we'll fill the rest of him in with the dark smoky slate, making sure that we blend into that basic black. There is quite a difference between them, so you do have to really work it. And be cognizant, though, that when you work it, you want to make sure that you don't overwork it, that you push it outside the lines. Okay, so we're just going to bring this in, go around here, and be careful around those eyes. Okay. We're really going to work around that black. But I want to work to the inside of the black so I don't push it out. Okay. Let's get some circular motions and really blend that in. Okay, almost done here. And we'll work this down to the paws. Okay. And there we are. Okay. So now we need to do some die cutting. So there's dies for this in our set, so we can cut out our cat and our little raven bird here. And then we need to cut one of these in gorgeous grape. This is the little goo that we're going to put on our cauldron. And then we need to grab our cauldron. And we also need the potions bottle and this little filler for the potions bottle. Now I've already cut this out. I cut it out in the Graceful Greenery Vellum. Is that what it's called? Yes, Graceful Greenery Vellum. So I've got one of those. And then from the 3-color glimmer paper, I've cut this piece in the Highland Heather. Okay. And here's my bird and my cat through the magic of television. My goo through the magic of television. And then we're going to cut the cauldron. Okay, I did not pre-cut this because I wanted to show you this little trick. Oh man, I forgot to. I forgot to do the center. Oops. I didn't melt the center right here, so I got messed a little bit, but we'll make it work. Get that heated up. I forgot that in the center. It'll be all right though. Okay, so we're just going to take this now, and I'm going to take my cauldron, and we're going to glue this down. Well, not glue it down, but tape it down. Tape that down. Okay. So, well, if that's going to stay, that would be really lovely. Well, let me try doing it this way. Okay. So now I've got that taped down. I'm going to take a second piece of basic gray cardstock because I need 2 of these cauldrons, but I only need 1 decorated. I wanted to show you this little shortcut tip. So we're just going to put both pieces of the basic gray in here. And then we'll run this through. All right. And now I have 2. Okay, 1 pass. And I've got both pieces that I need for my box. Okay. All right. Just a little shortcut tip there for you. Okay, let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to take my goo here and some Stampin' Dimensionals. And let's see, where's my minis? Oh, this right here. This is what I want right here. And my scissors. I'm going to take some little side pieces here. And I'm going to put them along the top of my goo. And then let's see, this one should work. Let's put this down kind of low here. There we go. And then I can just put regular minis on my globs of goo here. There we go. And then we'll add this to our cauldron. If you have a hard time getting your backings off, just take your fingernail, or in this case, my tweezers, stick it in the center and pop those tops. So you can reach in there and grab those. Okay, now let's go ahead and add this to the top of our cauldron here, just like so. Okay, then I'm going to take my little bird here, and I'm going to stick him in here, like so, kind of between where I put those dimensionals. I'm just going to take a little bit of liquid glue and put down here on the lower part, and then we'll add this right in here so it looks like he's standing here. Okay, give that a squeeze. All right, so we've got that. Then we're going to add our cat, and I want to add my cat right here. But before I do that, I'm actually going to add this to my box because it'll just be a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring in our box. Now remember, this is the back and this is the front. It doesn't really matter on this type of box because you're not going to see it. But if you were doing the box by itself, that would be it. So I have designed this box to fit right here, right where these little divots come together. Okay, so I'm going to try and put this box right in those little divots with an even amount of space above it. Okay, so the easiest way to put your box on is to take some liquid glue, because this gives you some movement time, some wiggle time. And I'm just going to lay this down and put that between those little divots equally. And we're going to do that, and then I want to make sure that that those are still going to sit pretty even. Okay, I want to get this down here just a little bit. I still have a little bit of wiggle time. Okay, and I'm going to check to make sure that it looks even at the top here, that it looks pretty straight here and here. Okay, then I'm going to take my second piece, and this is what I would call the front, and this is the back. So I'm going to turn this over, put the front down, and again, I'm going to put glue on my box, but I'm going to make sure to not glue here where that divot is for your finger. Okay. And then I'm going to put this one down the same way, but this time I'm going to pick that up and make sure that that sits flat on my surface. Okay, I want both of those to sit flat. And when I'm happy with it, then I can go ahead. I'm actually going to dump out my candy at this point, because I want to take my bone folder in there and give that a good press and make sure that those sides are secured. Okay. All right, so we're making good progress here. Almost done. Get those candies back in there. Close up that box. And let's finish this up. I want to put my cat here, but I need to make sure that my cat's foot is not going to interfere with how my box sits. So I'm going to take a mini well, actually, I'm going to take a black Stampin' Dimensional, and I'm going to take one of the edge pieces, and I'm going to put that right on the foot right here. And then I'm almost out of these on this sheet, so then I'm just going to take some other ones, making sure my cat's going to hang off. So I don't want to put dimensionals where my cat's going to go off. I'm going to lift this one because I want a little bit more security because my cat isn't going to sit fully on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my dimensionals like so. And then I'm going to sit my cat down here right at the foot of my cauldron, and then I'm going to make sure that it doesn't impede that leg. Okay, so I've got my cat on. Now I can take my little hocus pocus here and I can give this a trim on this side. So I'm going to slide this in right here like so. So let's go ahead and put that down. We're just going to do that with a little bit of liquid glue. Oh, hang on. Why? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Hello, Lynette. My laptop, where I'm trying to watch the messages, my antivirus program decided it needed to start throwing messages at me. Okay, so I've got that. Now let's take this potion bottle and our liquid, our purple sparkly liquid. And we're going to add this to our little vellum bottle from that graceful greenery vellum that we cut. We're going to put on our liquid there. And then we're going to take a little glue dot here. Not a glue dot, a dimensional, and take a piece of a dimensional. I'm going to stick it where that purple is so that it doesn't show through the vellum. And then I'm going to add this right here by the hocus pocus. And there is our box. Okay. So I hope you like that. It's a cute little Halloween treat to make for someone special. Thanks, Tracy. Okay, so let's go ahead. Our next project. Oh, here, this box holds 2 York Peppermint Fun Size, 4 Hershey's Nuggets, 2 Snickers Fun Size, and 7 Hershey's Kisses. That's what you can put in this box. Okay? So we've got that. Now, let's move on to our second project, which is a card. And I've done quite a bit of the pre-stuff because I knew that the treat box would take a little bit longer. So let's get started with that, and hopefully we can get through that in a relatively short time. Okay, so for this project, I have also brought in the Bird's Eye View stamp set. I recently acquired this using some Stampin' Rewards, and I couldn't wait to use it with the Spells and Potions bundle. So let's make us a card using this. And let's put this up here so I can see what I'm doing. We're going to start with a card base of basic black. Okay, give that a bone. Use my bone folder and sharpen up that edge. This is a standard A2 size card, 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it in the center at 4.25. Okay, then I've taken a piece of the Halloween Spells Designer Series paper. This is a new addition to the scrapbooking line that Stampin' Up! Just released, and we're going to use several patterns. So you've got this pattern and this pattern, and that's the back side. And then you have this with this, and then there's one more pattern in here because you get 3 each of 4 double-sided designs in this pack of paper. Okay, so there's your 4 different patterns, and we are actually using 3 today. So we're going to start with the green side of this, and we're going to add this piece to our card base. And this is 4 by 5.25 inches, standard base layer. Okay, then I've got another piece of that, and this one is 3 by 4.25. So 3 by 4.25 for this one. We can go and add this to our layer. We're just going to stick this in here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Hang on, because I want to add another piece to this, and I want to make sure that when I line that up, it's going to work and I can trim it if I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay this down on my silicone mat. That's what the silicone mat is for. And I'm going to take a piece of basic black. This is 1 3/4 by 3. And I'm going to add this to the bottom of this piece. I don't know. It doesn't look quite white enough. Let's grab another piece of black, and I'm going to trim that better because for some reason that one just isn't working the way I want it to. Okay, so let's just take a 3-inch piece of basic black here. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this to 1.5. All right, so now I need a 1.5-inch piece, and that is right here on my white. Oh, right there. Oh, 1 3/4. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. 1 3/4. All right. Now, hopefully this fits a little bit better than that one did. Otherwise, I'm going to need to trim this other piece because it's not going to be quite 3 inches. Or it's not going to be exactly the way I want it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and add this to this right along the bottom and line that up. Okay. Then I can remove that from my silicone mat. And now we can add this piece to our card front. Okay. So we've got that. All right, now I've already taken and done some embossing, and we're going to take the cauldron. I did the cauldron the same way for this one. We're going to add that. Then from the Halloween Memories paper, I cut out a portion of the pattern to get those books. So I just took this pattern right here and I just cut out a section of the books. So for instance, I just cut 1, 2, 3, 4 and hand cut those to get our books. We're going to put these down here. And then I've got some of that goo again. This time I've cut it from the glimmer paper, the 3-color glimmer paper. That's an online exclusive. And we're going to add that. And then we need to do a little bit of stamping. So let's grab some basic white cardstock here. And we're going to take from Bird's Eye View this little bird. And we're going to stamp him. Okay. And then we're going to take a piece of window sheet, which I know you can't see that. It's clear. I'm going to take the little glasses and I'm going to take some Stays-On ink. And your Stays-On ink needs to be fairly wet for this to work pretty well. So I re-inked mine yesterday. And then you're just going to stamp your glasses down and hold them there steady. Close up your Stays-On. It dries out quickly. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And there's your glasses. Okay, now with Stays-On, you want to clean that right away. So I'm going to go ahead and just give this a quick little wipe. Okay. All right, so we've got that. Now there are no dies for this Bird's Eye View stamp set, so you have to hand cut those out. But let's go ahead and color our bird. A bird is super easy to color. I just took a little bit of the gray granite and went along those artist lines. My brush tip is getting a little bit worn there, so, and really this is all I did on the bird. Just took a little bit of gray because I wanted him to look like kind of like a snowy owl. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the light peach pie here and color his nose. Okay, then I would hand cut him and the glasses, and through the magic of television, here's my bird. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting this all together. So I'm going to add this to my card here. And I put that black down so it will kind of look like the floor. We're going to put this about, let's go down a little bit so we make sure we have enough room for our sentiment, which is going to go above. And then for this one, I'm just going to, because this is a card and it'll get mailed, I'm not going to do a bunch of popping up because I don't want to pay extra postage. So I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue. I'm going to glue down my goop. Okay, now here I am going to pop this up. I'm going to take some dimensionals and pop up my books. And there we go. 3 should do it. Let's pop this right on here. Like so. Okay, then we're going to take our bird and we're going to pop him up too. But before we do that, let's put his glasses on. Now, I took a glue dot and I took my glue dot and I cut it in half. Just like that. And then I'm going to take that and roll it into a little log and stick it onto my glasses right there at the bridge. Okay, that way you won't be able to see that through the clear. And I'm going to add those glasses right here. Give that a press. Okay, that's going to hold it enough. And then we're going to take some more dimensionals. I need to move this down. My bird's going to be too high. Hang on. I got this too high. Let's see if we can. Oh man, I peeled that too hard. Okay, no worries. No worries. I'll just quickly cut some more. Sorry about that. Take this. You'll get to see what I did anyway this way. I'm just going to go right on top of that potions. And then we'll right down there and get rid of that excess. Oh man, that made my camera go funky. Hang on. See if that'll fix it up. Oh, there we go. Got it. Nope, it's still not. Oh, there it goes. Now it's focusing. Black really throws this camera off. And it freaks out on me. It's about time for a new phone, but I'm fighting it. The stabilizer in my camera is going bad. And I've tried using my mom's 12 mini, but the view I cannot get figured out. It, no matter what we try, it's just too wide. And I worked on it and worked on it, and I had Caitlin work on it, and I got it figured out for this camera on how to fix it. But Facebook has done something, and I don't know what it is that they've done with their settings. I was able to get this one figured out, and I did the exact same thing on the other one, but it did not work. It didn't work the same way. So let's go ahead and get our minis on here, or our dimensionals on here. Hang on for just a minute.
There's two people outside at the house. They're grabbing shit. Looks like homeless people. I called cordon. Please be here, and I'm coming in.
Okay. All right, so we're going to put this right here. We've got some drama going on next door, I guess. So let's put this here. Yep, that's about where I want this. So let's go ahead and put this here. And then we're going to pop this bird up. Okay. And put this right here. Okay, now for the last part of this, what we need to do is I've already taken, and I took a piece of black, or a piece of granny apple green, and a piece of gorgeous grape, and I took the double toil and trouble, and I stamped it on both the granny apple green and gorgeous grape, in Versamark, and then I used black embossing powder. I already embossed, so I thought, I don't want to do that twice. So I've already done it. And then I hand cut these out, and we're going to add these to our project right here. So we're going to go, do I got this right? Hang on, got to make sure I do it right. Oh, this one's second. I got to get my purple first. This is already done because when I made the first one, I ended up with two because I did two, so then I didn't need to do it again. Double, double, and then we've got toil and trouble. I tried all kinds of combinations to make this work, and this is the one that I liked the best by doing the two colors. So there we have it. And the last thing that we need to do on the front of our card is add some embellishments. So I've got the glassy dots here. These are from the annual catalog, and they've been out for quite some time, and they really sparkle. And so I'm going to take the Gorgeous Grape ones, and I'm going to add these. Excuse me. I'm going to add these here so they look kind of like bubbles coming up from our cauldron. Okay. And then for the inside, I took a piece of 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. I stamped the books, the spell books, in Memento and colored them in Highland Heather, Pumpkin Pie, Granny Apple Green, and Pool Party. Stamped the Happy Halloween in Gorgeous Grape, and then these two little doodads there are stamps from the Potions and Spells, and I stamped those in black. And then I took some bubbles. There are 3 individual bubbles in the Potions and Spells. I put them on one block and stamped them in 3rd generation. So I stamped them off, and stamped them again. And that's what we're using for the inside of our card. Okay. So there you have it. And then I stamped the bird on the envelope and added some decoration to the flap from the inside. And there we are. Okay, so there's our card. I'm glad you guys like that. Okay, so this is what I have for you tonight. Let me bring back in that box that we made. We'll put that right here. And there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Now remember, there is free shipping, so if you don't already have the stamp set, be sure to throw that in your free shipping cart. And that free shipping will end at 10:59 p.m. Pacific time or 11:59 p.m. Mountain time tomorrow, September 18th. It's for one day only. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you back here Thursday night. That's my plan on YouTube. And then I'll be back here next Tuesday night on Facebook. So have a good time, and we'll see you soon. Good night. Happy stamping.